Hey guys, what's going on? I just want to have a chill little video for today and talk to you guys. I want to give my 2023 physical media predictions and talk about some things that we've all been wanting to happen and things I think could actually possibly happen. I'd like to start, obviously you saw the title of this video, so you know what the big thing is I want to mention, but I'd like to start this video with talking about Vestron. I think this could be a remarkable year for them, especially with the price points that they've been having. We've already got The Dentist 1 and 2 coming, and that's coming, I think, is it end of this month? It's coming fast. The Dentist collection is coming, and that's going to be great. I think Vestron has titles that, if they could break records. Some of the bigger titles that we've been talking about, I think a lot of people think that Lionsgate conceivably owns Fright Night 2, and if that happens, that would be such a iconic thing. And there's a chance, guys. Tommy Lee Wallace basically made it sound like when he was interviewed a while back, like the murder stuff really put a hamper on that movie, and it's kind of buried because of that. And if that's the truth, that's a shame. But there's other titles like Trick or Treat that would also, I think, fall under the umbrella for Vestron, and that's a title I know a lot of people say, "Oh, that's happening. Oh, that's happening," and I think this could be the year. I think it won't come out till this Halloween, but I think that's a strong possibility. You've also got titles like Rumpelstiltskin and movies like Pinocchio's Revenge, which I think would be just fantastic for that label. Those are cult 90s films that a lot of people haven't seen, and they need to because they're really, really good movies. So that's something I think could be a big game changer for Vestron. There's certain titles that can rock the boat big time if they can get those out. And I think that they'll have some other surprises along the way. But I think at least one of those titles that I mentioned is going to happen this year. My money says Pinocchio's Revenge could be a big summer hit that they can put out because that's such a great little film. When it comes to Scream Factory, I think they're going to continue what they've been doing, which is reissuing a lot of movies on 4K. And I don't really want to get into the positives or negatives about that. That's up for you as a collector to decide if you're into jumping up to 4K and either selling off your old copies or just collecting them to collect them. Obviously, I can't say nothing too bad about them because I've really kind of been, I don't even want to say victim is the word, I've just really been enjoying their Steelbook game so far. I think it's remarkable. Every time I look at that Army of Darkness Steelbook, I'm like, holy crap, it's amazing. I know the They Live one is coming out, which I can't wait to get. I'm kind of glad that I didn't get that on 4K before, because now that I see that, I'm like, okay, that one I really want to get. But I think Scream Factory might actually put out some titles that people really, really want on 4K. I mean no disrespect to the fans of the film, but like, why are we putting out The Craft on 4K before movies like Day of the Dead? You know, what's that all about? You know, what's going on there? I mean, and Species, for God's sake, Species got a 4K, but we have movies like Psycho 2 that Scream Factory's put out, Psycho 3. Those don't get the upgrade treatments beforehand. We get Species and The Craft. Like, what's going on there? You know, I think Day of the Dead is a film a lot of people want upgraded. Day of the Dead has gotten such a fan base over the last few years that's a title I think people are ready for on 4K, and I think that would be great. It also seems like they're kind of putting out steelbooks for some of these 4K movies later after the fact. They Live came out sometime last year, and now they're getting a new steelbook for it. So that's something to be weary about. If you're a fan of the steelbooks, know that some of those 4Ks that have come out already, they might get a steelbook 3, 4, 5 months down the road, which is interesting, and I don't really understand it, but, you know, whatever. So with Scream Factory, you really need to just kind of hedge your bets on stuff and just play to your strengths as a collector with them, knowing what they do and don't. I can understand why most people just go with the regular releases instead of the steelbooks, because It's just like it's the safe bet. I can get the film. I can have a uniformity with my collecting from them, and it doesn't matter to me that they release a steelbook 4 months later for They Live. But I think Scream Factory will certainly get some big titles this year. In terms of other companies, I foresee Vinegar Syndrome just continuing that climb to become the best boutique label company. Quite frankly, I think that they're in a lot of ways already there. They changed the game not long ago with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I mean, what the hell is going on? The fact that they put that out was just insanity to me. I can't understand why Scream Factory allowed that to happen, but they did. My money says that a lot of their financial resources went to the Halloween 4Ks, so that was a title I think they hedged their bet there. But the fact of the matter is I think Vinegar Syndrome's pockets are getting deeper, and they can afford to go after some bigger fish. They got Amityville Horror last year, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Roadhouse. So I think they're going to be coming out strong. I can anticipate them doing some bigger titles. I know me personally, I think Vinegar Syndrome is perfect to do Bloodsport and do it in a really nice set. With the amazing soundtrack and everything, you can go that whole way. I don't know what happens with companies like Severin and Synapse this year. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I know Synapse seems to be putting out their Giallo at Dario Films and things like that. They're upgrading those to 4K. We got Tenebrae last year and Phenomena, so we'll see what happens there. But I think Vinegar Syndrome is going to have a good year. I think Vestron's going to have a great year. And let's talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street box set, I guess. There's a lot more stuff we could talk about, but if you drop a comment below, I'll see what you have to think, and we can communicate back and forth. I do want to say that it would be the natural year to see the Rob Zombie Halloween 1 and 2 films to hit 4K, but whether it be Scream Factory or not, well, that remains to be seen. There's a chance it could not be them and just come from the main company. Let me just ask the question out loud. Do I think that a Nightmare on Elm Street collection is going to happen this year? The answer is no, I don't. But that's not, I don't want you to take that as a massive negative thing. I know it doesn't sound good for me to say that, and of course I don't have the answers, I can only speculate, but let me tell you a few things. So, when a year or so ago, I was verbally saying to the audience, a Nightmare on Elm Street box set is in the works, it's happening. Obviously, I can't say who I got my information from. But if you're a fan of this channel and you know who I'm a fan of and the people I look up to, you can kind of put two and two together. But I was told, hey, they're working on special features for the set. They're doing it. And I was kept up to date with that. And then at a certain point, maybe a year or so ago, maybe a year, maybe a little less, maybe a year and some change, it's hard to say, but there was a point where the person I was talking to told me, hey, I just heard that they were told to cease all operations on the set. You can take this with a grain of salt if you can. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. I think New Line was, in fact, for a little while, allowing Scream Factory to create this and work on it. I really do. And what I think happened was, and when I say New Line, I mean Warner Brothers, because they own New Line now. What I think happened was the success of Halloween and other big films coming in and doing big numbers. I think they said, wait a minute. This property is worth a fortune to us right now. Should we do this? And I think they pulled the plug. I really do. Now, the thing on the internet people kind of make fun of is New Line Cinema saying, we consider Nightmare on Elm Street a quote-unquote active franchise. And people are like, yeah, active, all right, we haven't had anything. And they're right, but I think the wheels are turning. I just think they're turning really slow. Not to mention, let me answer this question. When will we get, if you're wondering, when do I think we'll get an Elm Street box set? Next year, 2024, which is the 40th anniversary of the original. It would be weird and almost just like, wow, we're 1 year ahead than what would have been the 40th anniversary, which I won't complain if we get something this year. But next year's the 40th anniversary of the first movie. That sounds right to me. That sounds ripe for making something like this happen. And I think we'll get an announcement soon of a film. I really do. I'm telling you guys, I really think something's going on based on some of the people I've talked to and the sources that I have. Again, I don't like saying that. Everybody's got sources nowadays. They do. Everybody's got somebody that they talk to. But the people that I talk to and some of the people that I talk to that actually have somebody that works for Warner Brothers have told me, dude, they're working on something. The Craven estate, the Craven family, they're trying to let it rip, but they're getting the right script, blah blah blah. So guys, I really think something's going on, and that's why they put the axe to the box set. But I think I legitimately believe and think, yes, Scream Factory was in fact working on special features for it, and then they got the axe and they were told to stop. So I don't think it's going to happen this year. I'd love to be wrong. I think 2024 is going to be the year of Freddy Krueger in more ways than one. But I think we're going to have a good year. I think we're going to get some more big titles hitting 4K. There's still a lot of great movies that have not hit yet, and they deserve to. So I think it's going to be a great year. I think this past year, I think 2022 was a phenomenal year, and I think 2023 has every reason to be just as good, if not better. There's so many great, amazing horror titles that we could upgrade and do great new things for, and it's the time is now. So I'm very optimistic about this year, guys. I think it's going to be a good year. I'd love to be wrong. I really don't think the Elm Street box set's going to happen this year, and part of me is saying that because I want the reverse mojo on that, but my heart tells me it's going to be 2024 on the 40th anniversary of the original. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts for the physical media predictions for 2023. I'm interested to see what you think, and if you're somebody out there that knows somebody in the business, knows somebody with one of these companies, and you can anonymously just drop a bunch of information, please do. Let us all know. But seriously, I think it's going to be a good year, guys. I'm really anticipating your thoughts on this and what you would like to see happen on physical media. And I think part of it, too, is us making our voices heard and putting our thoughts out there. I think that has a big impact. I know that was big for the movie Popcorn happening on Blu-ray. So make our voices heard, guys. Say what we want. Say what we're thinking about this sort of stuff, and say what we want out loud. There it is, guys. Those are my physical media predictions for 2023. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. This is Christian from Planet CHH, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who make videos like this possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you very much.